Hello and welcome to my review of Wonder Woman. Last week I put up a video kind of asking whether or not the movie was getting overhyped and if it might be overrated, and I went and watched it Friday. A little late getting my review up, had a busy weekend, but I will say it is overhyped and it's overrated, but it is a good movie. It's a good action popcorn, movie. There's nothing terrible about it. There's nothing amazing about it. In my review, I'm gonna do a short bit with no spoilers, and then I might go into a couple things with some spoilers. So I'll let you know beforehand, so you can leave if you don't want any spoilers and you haven't watched it yet. So the movie itself is well put together. That's the problem with Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad and DC's other movies, is that they've had major editing and major script problems, and then just poor decisions made for the characters. The Wonder Woman character works perfectly. She's one of the better parts. Steve Trevor's character works perfectly. The villain is underwhelming. It kind of does what a lot of the movies are doing these days with multiple people might be the villain and stuff like that. You got Miss Poison, and then you have the General, and you have Ares. And I won't tell you about anything of how that happens yet, which hopefully that's not a spoiler. But I will say the movie spends a little bit too much time on the origin with Diana very young. They spend a lot of like you see in the trailers, if you've watched the trailers, that there's, in one of the trailers is a scene with a very young girl. That's Diana. That's Wonder Woman. And they spend a lot more time with her at that age than you would think. It's actually, in my opinion, too much, and it's time that they could have better spent with her older training. Because the training, she's older, is a little bit rushed. And the other problem with the movie, in my opinion, this is all based on taste, but the action and CGI are very heavy-handed. It's very obvious when it's CGI, and the action's over the top. Almost all of the action is slow motion. Like literally almost all of it. The action is most similar to like 300 or Spartacus without the blood. And which can be good, although that first Spartacus, which was most like that, the first episode, was terrible. But it's definitely got a Zack Snyder DCEU stamp on it with the action, although the action in Batman v Superman with Batman specifically was way better. This action is much more like the Battle with Doomsday action, where, and I guess they must be trying to portray that they're so superhuman in the fights, that they feel they need to make it slow-mo and so exaggerated with the CGI. Like some of the CGI looks like it straight up was made for a movie poster, which tends, like the CGI you see in a Marvel movie tends to like try to blend it in, unless it's like Guardians of the Galaxy where it's just this vibrant colors. But you get a lot of scenes in Wonder Woman that are scenes that almost look like someone made specifically for a poster or a screen capture. And I guess, so the main plot, it's not, there's nothing majorly wrong with the plot, but it gets slow in some spots. It's nothing too exciting. It's basically her journey finding out what the world of man is actually like, and what warfare is actually like, and what it really means to be a hero. Which this movie accomplishes what none of the DCU movies have, and that's give us an actual hero, someone that we can root for, and someone that we want to win, someone that has heart. And that's that. You can get away with a lot in a movie if it has heart. That, you know, indescribable quality that some movies possess and some don't. And the DCU movies have not had any of that until now, which is good, and hopefully they can capture that going forward. I think they may have wished, and maybe in the reshoots with Justice League, they may try to make Wonder Woman more front and center. I think if they could do it now, they would, instead of Bruce Wayne leading the Justice League, they might be having Wonder Woman forming it and trying to do that, because she's the only character that's been a true standout and carried her own movie so far to critical success, which that critical success is overblown a little bit, in my opinion. It deserves to be making the money it's making. There's no reason why people shouldn't be going to the theaters and enjoying it. I can't imagine, like, there's not very many people that are going to go into the movie and say, oh, I had a terrible time. It's just not going to happen. Sorry, my dog is in here. I can't leave him alone because he loves attention. But anyway, that'll end the non-spoiler part of my review, and I'm going to jump into a couple spoilers. So if you do not want to hear any spoilers, please tune out and you know, check out the next video or tune back in after you've watched the movie. But so yeah, spoilers now. Like I said, the part in the beginning with Diana as a very young girl takes a little bit away from the origin story itself, even there, because when you have Steve Trevor come in, after his first encounter, everything happens very fast, and he doesn't get the, like, what is this place kind of reactions that you would think, and the awkwardness until, like, she's about to take him and leave. Then you start getting it while he's already been there for a while, and he's just, I guess, been playing along. You would have expected him to, I guess he's a spy, but you would have expected him to be like, what is this place? A lasso of truth? What? There's no such thing, and you know, but that's easily forgivable. And then I would say that the part in London is a little bit overdrawn. I think they could have had that move quite a bit smoother. But you did get the part where a very critical part where she's basically judging their companions. One's kind of like a schemer and kind of sleazy. The other one is a drunk, and you know, she judges him for being a sniper. And my dog decided this is a perfect time to play tug-of-war. But anyway, that's a very important part for the rest. But they went a little bit too long with the, oh, I'm an ancient Greek in a semi-modern World War I era London. So I thought that drug on a little bit. The best part of that whole spiel, though, was when she just goes, oh, a baby, and you realize, oh, she's never seen a baby before, and it's the way Gal Gadot does that shows, like, oh yeah, she, you know, would be excited. lots of women already, you know, do that at the sight of any baby if you've never seen one before. And I mean, lots of men do it too. It's, you know, babies are awesome. Well, if they're not yours. But the next part of the movie, the kind of the middle of the movie, is just getting her to the front line, and that's where the movie starts to shine. When she's seeing the horrors of war and realizing what it is, realizing, you know, she doesn't really have the right to judge these people. You know, she ends up not just taking care of it all on her own, but when she pulls or goes out of the trench, she ends up enabling the people around her to be heroes, and that's kind of special. You also have the part in the town square when there's only one sniper left, and the other sniper is supposed to take him out, and he has him in his sight and he just can't, and she's like, what's going on? And she ends up taking care of it for him, and then she's kind of realizing what warfare does to people and how she's had such a privileged existence, really. And then from there the movie kind of falls off. I thought the reveal of Ares not being the general was pretty clever, but then Ares started to disappoint. Like, he had some cool lines, but he'd been talked about so much, but then he didn't live up to the talk, and the fight was underwhelming. It was just a bunch of slow motion and CGI. And that moment when Steve Trevor sacrifices himself was pretty powerful, but it still, that whole scene didn't seem like it played out as powerful as they meant it to be. But it was still good. It was still watchable. It wasn't cringy. There are parts in the movie where it gets cheesy a little bit, where you wouldn't expect that in a serious action movie. Like, that would be weird in a Jason Bourne or a normal World War II or World War I war movie. Because it has parts where it's a war movie, and that one part in the town square is the only time it gets close, and it's the only time where it gets to where it's starting to get to be more than just an action movie, but then it kind of slips back into that. So, to summarize, yes, it is very good. It's a good movie, worth watching. You're gonna enjoy it, most likely, but it is nothing amazing. It's not better. I wouldn't say it's on par with Winter Soldier or Civil War or Logan or The Dark Knight Rises, or The Dark Knight, not The Dark Knight Rises, I won't go there. Or Days of Future Past. You know, it doesn't live up to those in my standards. You may feel differently. If you're a Wonder Woman fan from, you know, a long time, you might feel differently. But that's my review. Tune into my other videos. I do reviews of Doctor Who and probably some other shows in the future. You'll see those pop up if you subscribe. I don't have any subscribers yet. Be the first.